Hi all, my name is Jane. I'm an architect, event and spatial designer, founder of the Dreamers Travel Club, and above all, a girl head over heels in love with the world. And today, I will tell you about the amazing 3 days in Paris. Let's go! Swoop 2 hours in the train and here you are in the central Paris. Let's start our first morning in Paris in a truly Parisian way. Bonjour, Paris! 8 in the morning. As you enjoy your morning pastry from any local pastry shop next to your hotel, or maybe you're feeling a little bit fancier and you want to go for Cédric Rollet, Sébastien Godard, pardon my French, Café Noir, or go with a classic kitsune. Whatever you choose, you will find yourself with that pastry in Jardin de Tuileries, sitting on one of those typical Parisian green chairs, marveling at fountains, architecture around, and the views across the Seine. Slow morning at the hotel of your choice, pain au chocolat from the neighborhood bakery, and a walk in the area. Check. 9 a.m. As soon as the doors open, you walk into the Musée de l'Orangerie. Before the hordes of tourists arrive, you're already there, sitting in front of one of the most famous Manet's creation, the Water Lily series. The rooms are designed for meditation, so if you come early enough, you might just catch this little moment of sitting there in silence, because normally this is how it looks like. Dimmed lights and out-of-this-world paintings. You sit, take a deep breath, and take in the moment. You are in Paris, and this is the start of the amazing 3 days of art, architecture, food, music, and beautiful walks.
Wow, this is incredible.
It's 11 a.m. and we're enjoying another slow walk through Jardin de Tuileries. Explore more of the signature French garden design, more of the amazing architecture and the views around. And as you head in the direction from Place de la Concorde to the Louvre, maybe stop for another pastry in one of their kiosks. You're in Paris after all, splurge a little. Located between the Place de la Concorde and the Louvre is this little piece of absolute happiness. Flowers, fountains, views on the Seine, gardens in the peak of their perfection, and all the best architecture Paris has to offer around. 12 o'clock, Louvre. It's one of the very few places in the world where the amount of tourists don't just wave a huge red flag begging you not to go, but actually signify something worth seeing. See the painting everyone is there to see. But also do not shy away from other exhibits. Make sure to see the winged victory of Samothrace and the magnificent staircase leading to it. The glass-covered sculpture courtyards, Napoleon III apartments, and the 18th century decorative art galleries. These are my personal favorites, but for anyone else I would recommend doing a little bit of research into the main things to see unless you're planning to spend the whole day there. After the second museum visit of the day, we are off to the Place Vendôme area walk. City's most majestic neoclassical squares, high-end stores, aesthetic streets, and world-class beauty everywhere. Get lost in the area, go in the shops, look at the beautiful details of architecture, and get a lunch someplace nice. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's time for lunch, but make it someplace nice. Either you go for the touristy Café Marley with the unbeatable view, majestic Angelina, hip Alfred, or the place to be at Hotel Costas. Get a glass of champagne and escargot. This time we went for the restaurant called Hotel Costas. Starting with escargot, French fries and champagne, then going with a nice main and finishing off with berries and cream. Perfect place to recharge before the second part of the crazy active day begins. It's 4:15 and it's time for the visit to the Palais Garnier. Ideally, of course, go there for the actual performance, be it to see La Bohème, the Dante project, or anything else your heart desires. But if you're short on time but still crave to see the architecture, which everyone and anyone should see at least least once in their life. You can buy a ticket and visit the opera before the evening program begins. It is one of the main opera houses in the world, a masterpiece of the 19th century theater architecture, but my favorite part of it is Marc Chagall's fresco. From the Opera Garnier, take the walk to Montmartre. As you pass Galeries Lafayette and Haussmann Printemps, peek inside to marvel at their beauty, and maybe also go on the terrace for an amazing view.
The most beautiful.
As you reach the area, get lost on these tiny, colorful streets, and make sure to pay a visit to a bookshop called Halle Saint-Pierre. 5:30, and the last stop of the area before the dinner is of course Sacré-Cœur. Climb the hill to visit the church and see the view around, and then head to a cozy little restaurant for dinner. 6:30, dinner. Discover the hidden gem by the name of La Maison Rose. As you step inside the cozy little pink house, the atmosphere will just cover you with friendliness and warmth and home-like feel. The background music sets the perfect mood for enjoying the most delicious wines, coffees, starters and mains, and the best pavlova you will ever try in your life. 8:30, and you're making your way to the Moulin Rouge, going down the hill to the romantic streets of Montmartre. Pass by Place du Tartre and Le Mur de Jardin, catch a street performer if you're lucky, and stop by Café de Moulin to say bonsoir to Amélie.
Bonjour.
9 p.m. you've arrived. The show everyone needs to see in Paris. The beautiful singing and dancing and some tricks up their sleeves. It's basically kind of like Cirque du Soleil but half naked. Now add a few bottles of champagne per table and a beautiful setting, and here you have it, the perfect combination for an amazing first evening in Paris.
Really?
Yeah, it's a wonderful city.
And so, day 2. It's just 9 a.m. in the morning, but you're already standing in line to either Café de Flore or Le Domago. Pardon my French yet again. Traditional French fare filled with history. Whichever you go to, order their signature hot chocolate with whipped cream, a croissant, and something from their special breakfast menu. Sit on their terrace outside and soak in the sun. Talk politics, philosophy, poetry. Engage in a heated discussion in the best tradition of the place.
Let me guess. Freud?
Better, the Bible.
And just enjoy the moment. After a long and filling breakfast, it's finally time to make your way to yet another museum of the trip. Walking down the Rue Bonaparte in the direction of the Seine, stop at some of the nice little galleries and any shops that catch your eye, including, but not limited to, Asseline Bookshop, Officine Universelle Perfume Shop, Philippe Fernand Boutique, and any others along the way. After a little impromptu shopping, you will find yourself walking down the Seine, soaking in the views and looking through the peculiar finds of the little kiosks down the embankment.
I do love our first dance.
It's 11:30 and we've arrived at our main museum of the day, Musée d'Orsay. Half past 1 in the afternoon, and in order to digest everything we've just seen, we're stopping at a nice coffee shop called Café Noir.
Coffee, coffee, coffee! Right.
Just a little break and we keep moving. We're taking a little walk in the neighborhood and going to Rodin Museum.
The
hands on his sculptures. They're so powerful.
2:30 and here we are, Rodin Museum. It is one of those less touristy spots, but definitely a local's favorite. Beautifully restored house of the famous artist, gardens in the best of French tradition, amazing art and sculptures around. Four o'clock. As we make our way to the Eiffel Tower, finally, we take a little stop before, and the stop is at Café L'Allemand for an afternoon cocktail, coffee, and a snack. Six o'clock and we are here, finally, next to the Eiffel Tower.
Well, there she is, kids! The Eiffel Tower.
There is truly something magical about it, and we'll make sure to soak the magic fully. Not only will you walk around the area in the most romantic way imaginable, but we'll also cover the four main spots for the best picture.
Say cheese!
Rue de l'Université, Carousel of the Eiffel Tower, Avenue de Camoyen, and the classic Esplanade of the Joseph Rzinsky. It's almost 7:30 and it's time to call the cab, which will arrive and take you through central Paris and right to your dinner destination, Mariinsky. Breathtaking design hotel with amazing restaurant. It was honestly one of the best meals me and my husband have ever had. And after all of that, absolutely by accident, we stumbled across their little secret bar with live piano music, absolutely delicious cocktails, and an atmosphere of calm and full enjoyment of life. A true, if I dare say, hedonist dream. And here you have it, a perfect second day in Paris.
And I fell in love with Paris.
Day 3, and we're starting it with some pastry in bed, enjoying a nice view of Paris, then getting ready very quickly and going to Luxembourg Gardens. We'll look at the fountains, walk around the gardens, explore the palace if you have the time. If not, just the exterior is enough to leave you amazed. Then we'll walk around the area a little bit, as it's full with amazing little cafes, restaurants, shops, galleries. Just get lost slightly, peek into all the shops if you're feeling curious, buy something silly and pretty and truly joyful. One of the very important stops I'd recommend is Estier Ceramics. As we make our way to Notre-Dame, walk a little around Ile de la Cité and make sure to stop at Shakespeare's bookshop. Unfortunately, you still cannot visit the cathedral, so maybe just walk around it and look at beautiful architecture and the photos of how it used to be on the inside. But if you still feel like going into a chapel, there's one majestic one right next to Notre-Dame, and it's called Sainte-Chapelle. But make sure to book in advance to avoid the long queues. And as 1 o'clock is approaching, it is of course time for a nice long lunch. And we chose Jardin, another classic in Paris. It's more popular amongst the locals, amazing food, beautiful designs, and interesting history. After a long lunch, take a taxi, a bicycle, or maybe a metro to go a little more central. And our next destination is National Library. And we are there for, you guessed it, architecture. Next to the library, there is this beautiful passage called Galerie Vivienne. And as we've passed Shakespeare's bookshop before, during that day, I don't know about you, but us personally got a little bit disappointed just because it got too touristy and the vibe was sort of ruined a little. So we found a great alternative right in the Vivienne Gallery. It's an amazing bookshop filled with carefully curated collection of rare books. And this is a place that I'd recommend you stay in and explore. Put aside at least half an hour to an hour, just soak in the atmosphere, talk to the owner who will be more than happy to help. Browse through the books and maybe find something interesting to take home with you. There are also quite a few nice restaurants and cafes in the galleries in case you got hungry. But as our train was that evening, we only had time for 2 more stops. And those stops were Palais-Royal, the gardens, the architecture again, some people watching a coffee from Cité, a macaroon on the go, a few more beautiful shots of the area, and the last stop before the train we took was perfume shopping. Last buy before we leave, and we're off to the central station to go back to London. And here you have it, 3 amazing days in Paris. Enough to fall in love with the city if you've never been there before, or fall in love even deeper if you're not a stranger to it. Anyways, we're back in London, filming more content from there, and I hope you enjoyed the video because I sure did enjoy filming it. For more information, please see the links attached to the video description. Give the video a like and a follow, subscribe to the Dreamers Travel Club Instagram, and I'll see you soon with more stories of London and the world. Bye!